it's the fact that technology has gone from being this, force of good and democratization of opportunities to the point where you have these duopolies or oligopolies of just, a handful of really big players that are collecting rents on everything, particularly in areas that feel much more like infrastructure than private business to me. One of the examples I use in the book is the operating systems. Apple and Alphabet, those are your two choices. They cover 99+% of not just the US, but the planet. So, that's not free market capitalism. That's two choices, right? And I will say, Apple's been pretty good on privacy, right? So, but we're dependent on those same people being in charge, and that tenor could change at any point in time. So if those are your two choices, and Alphabet and Apple, get a call from the government and they're like, I heard Carol and Matt and they were saying mean things about us. We don't want them on our operating system. Then I can no longer participate in the modern economy. I mean, that's insane. So I think there is this sort of delicate balance there. And I also, I liken these tech companies to a de facto government. I mean, in many ways today, outside of the military, which, we not to say that they're building armies of robots anyway, but, they feel almost more powerful in certain areas than the government. I mean, they've got much stronger balance sheets. I know it's not an apples to apples comparison, but their market caps in many cases are larger than almost every country's GDP in the entire world. Many of them have more users than even the biggest countries in the world. So their size and scope is pretty staggering. And when you have the same players, kind of around the same types of infrastructure and collecting rents and making these decisions that have to do with things like our private property and our free speech, we don't have any bill of digital rights, so to speak, that protects those in this particular scenario. So I think that's something that we really do need to work out. And for these companies that don't have the competition and are sort of behaving as these platforms, these infrastructure platforms, I think that we need to have some rights codified. I'd love to see that come, organically from the people in the industry, just like agreeing like, hey, this is a good way to move through life. And I think with AI, it becomes even more important. In fact, funny aside, I had a friend who just sent me, just before we hopped on, I tweeted about this. Apparently, there's some group of people who are going around and doing AI biographies on people. So there's these crazy Carol Roth AI biographies that have come out on Amazon where they're stealing photos, and they're the definitive biography of like the 5 things about me on the internet that they were able to scrape. And you can just look at it and see like this came right out of ChatGPT. So the idea that like our names and our likenesses should be protected and that AI shouldn't be able to train on things that are proprietary to us and our intellectual property, I think that, this is nascent, but we got to get that sorted out. So industry first. And if we can't do that, then I think we're going to have to, start with some sort of a government thing and try and mold that and get it right over time.